So, welcome to our lecture series called Daily News in Shorts. In this lecture series, we cover important news items from that day's newspaper in a very short span of time, that is 20 minutes. So, within 20 minutes, we will try to cover the important news items that are important for your civil services examination in just under 20 minutes. All right. Now, today is July 1st, 2024. It's Monday, and today's newspaper featured a lot of important events. So, we'll try to cover those important news events. Okay. Now, what important news events were covered in today's newspaper? What are our topics, today's topics? Okay. Now, first of all, today is July 1st, and from July 1st, 2024 onwards, three new criminal laws will be operational. Okay, we have discussed about the new criminal laws, right? Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita, Bharatiya Sakshay Adhiniyam, right? We have talked about these three new criminal laws, but these three new criminal laws, though they were enacted in December of 2023, they are being operational. They will be operational from today onwards. So we'll have to discuss these three new criminal laws. Okay. Then we'll talk about what sort of preparations the government has done to implement these three new criminal laws. All right. Then from this important news item, we'll straight away jump to conservation plan for Great Indian Bustard. Now, Great Indian Bustard is also a state bird of Rajasthan and it is critically endangered. So, Government of India, Ministry of Environment to be precise, has come out with a conservation plan for this important bird species. So we'll talk about that. And Indian Army has appointed a new army chief, new chief of army staff. So what will be his role? What will be his challenges, responsibilities? What sort of focus areas would he focus on? Basically, we'll talk about all these things. Okay. So straight away, let's jump to first news item, that is new criminal laws. Now, three new criminal laws will come into effect from today, July 1st, 2024. Now, we have discussed about these three new criminal laws, but let's discuss about them even more. Now, first law, very important, is Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. It will replace the very important Indian Penal Code, which was enacted way back in 1860 during British times, during colonial times. So this will replace Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita will replace IPC. Then Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita will replace CRPC, which was enacted in 1973. And Bharatiya Sakshay Adhiniyam will replace Indian Evidence Act, which was also enacted during colonial era. Now, the major purpose of enacting these three laws, as per the government, was that India wants to break away from its colonial past. Right? These three laws, except CRPC, though a lot of provisions in CRPC were enacted by Britishers, but India wants that its criminal laws should be framed by Indians. Okay, so India wants to break away from its colonial past, and many legal experts were also of the opinion that these laws are very old and they require a lot of amendments. Okay. Now, government has amended these laws, IPC, CRPC, Indian Evidence Act before, but government actually wanted to revamp the entire structure. And that is why these three new criminal laws, along with the name change, came about. Okay. Now, these three criminal laws were enacted in December 2023 of the Parliament, but the government said that we need certain preparation. We need some preparation for these laws to be implemented. So that is why government took 6 months, and government said that though we have enacted these laws in December 2023, but we would like to make them operational from July 1st onwards. Okay. Now, these three laws have changed a lot of things in India's criminal legal regime. Okay. Plus, these three laws have introduced, especially BNS, Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, has introduced new crimes as well. So, certain new crimes are introduced, which were not present in IPC. So, Clause 69 of BNS, it penalizes sexual intercourse through the employment of deceitful means. So, if someone manipulates a female, to have sexual intercourse and then promise them of a job, of promotion, or hide their true identity, or a promise of marriage. All these are considered as deceitful means, and sexual intercourse through deceitful means is criminal now. Punishment up to 10 years can be given through this. Okay. Basically, opposition members have said that the government is using it to love jihad, a new thing that they have invented. Nonetheless, if you manipulate someone, make false promises for getting sexual intercourse, well then that is penalized. Plus, government also recognizes through clause 103, it was not present earlier in IPC, It recognizes murder on the ground of race, caste, community as a separate offense. So murder is an offense, was an offense in IPC, but murder on the basis of race, caste, and community has been given special recognition under clause 103. Okay, basically government has done this to prevent mob lynching. Okay, mob lynching is done on the basis of community lines. Okay, so that is why government has enacted this. Then clause 111 subclause 1, inclusion of offenses such as organized crime and terrorism. Now, organized crime, terrorism were not present in IPC. They were present in special laws like UAPA, Maharashtra Control of Organized Crime Act, right? There were special laws for terrorism and organized crime, but it was not present in IPC. So, government through BNS has included organized crime and terrorism within BNS. Okay, and government has identified a separate crime called snatching, chain snatching, and all the other stuff related to that. Snatching as a separate crime from theft. Theft is different, snatching is different. Okay, and there are almost similar punishments for the two. Now, many people have said that this new era, this new ushering in of a new era of criminal legal regime has certain positives and negatives. What are the positives? Well, under this new law, government has introduced the punishment of community service for petty crimes like theft and other stuff, and many other petty crimes. Judges can give you community service instead of jail time. Now, what would be community service? That judges would decide. But community service can be given for small petty crime, okay, instead of jail time. Now, this would help our prisons to manage the burden on them. Okay, there are a lot of under trials, right, in our prisons, and our prisons are crowded. So, if you give them community service instead of jail time, well, burden on our prisons would also get reduced. Okay, now this new law has also taken care of a problem. What was that problem? Well, as per POCSO Act, sex with a minor is considered sexual offense, and minor is considered someone who is less than 18 years of age. Okay, it is considered rape also, sexual offense. Okay, as per POCSO. But as per IPC, if a married person, really has sexual intercourse with their wife, and their wife is less than 18 years of age, then that is not considered marital rape. Okay, under IPC, if a person's wife is less than 15 years of age, and then that person has sexual intercourse with them, then that is considered marital rape. So, for girls between the age of 15 to 18 years of age and who are married, well, there is a problem. Under POCSO, that would be considered rape, but under IPC, that won't be considered an act of rape, right? So there was this conflict between POCSO and IPC. Well, BNS has taken care of that. BNS has said that this 15-year thing has been done away with. Now, in POCSO as well as in BNS, if a married person has sexual intercourse with his or his wife, and his wife is less than 18 years of age, that would be considered marital rape. Okay. Plus, inclusion of crimes like mob lynching is a positive. Emphasis on video conferencing of trials, prescription of timelines for speedy trials are some of the good benefits. Okay. Now, what are the negatives? Well, negatives are many. Like, for example, government has removed the provision of sedition. Not exactly, though. They haven't removed the provision of sedition, they have changed the definition. Earlier, sedition was in Hindi translated as Rajdroh. Government in Hindi has changed the definition from Rajdroh to Deshdroh. Now, Rajdroh meant rebellion against the king, Deshdroh meant rebellion against nation. So, by this, government actually wants to say that if you are criticizing the government, then that won't be considered seditious. But if you are criticizing or if you're doing certain acts against the nation, not the government of the day, but the nation, India. So criticizing BJP, Modi government or doing stuff against them is not sedition, but criticizing India and doing stuff against them would be considered as sedition. Okay, so this is a negative because they still haven't given a comprehensive definition of sedition. They have just changed the name. Plus, there is one more issue. Look, in India, as far as rape is concerned, males are not considered as victims. Okay, so under IPC, in case of a rape, sexual assault against a male, well, IPC doesn't consider that as rape. For IPC, rape happens only against women. Now, for males who want to have some or who want to get justice for sexual assault, they had to go for Section 377, which disallows same-sex sexual relations, right? So if some male was a victim of sexual assault, well, they would go for Section 377 for redressal. But now Section 377 has been removed in BNS. Plus, in BNS, the definition of rape as given in IPC has been clearly imported. Okay, so even in BNS, rape is not gender neutral. Rape is still considered an act against females. So this would create problems because males who are victims of sexual assault, well, there is no provision for them. Okay, so that is an issue. Now let's move on to second news item, which is what sort of preparation is government doing for these new criminal laws? Okay, so there are a lot of there are a lot of things that are going on so that government is all prepared for these new criminal laws. Okay, first of all, as far as training goes, Bar Council of India has mandated that all law students who are studying law in various universities, well, these three new criminal laws should be included in their curriculum, in their syllabus from 2024-25 onwards. Okay. Now, Labasna, Missouri, which is a training academy for IAS officers, those who clear UPSC, well, they go to Labasna. So, Labasna has conducted 5-day training program for IAS or IPS judicial officers. Ministry of Women and Child Development, Rural Development and Panchayati Raj has held a Hindi webinar for ground workers, okay, grassroots functionaries. Okay. Now, technological changes have also taken place to brace India, to allow India to brace itself for new criminal laws. First of all, National Crime Records Bureau (NCRB) has made 23 technical modifications for crime and criminal tracking system. Okay, then there is this new web application released by NCRB called NCRB Sankalan of Criminal Laws. It was launched in March 14th. Then National Informatics Center has launched a few applications called e-Sakshay. E-Sakshay is an app through which police personnel can submit evidence electronically to the court. Nyay Shruti, courts can issue summons electronically. So these new web applications have also come because BNS, Bharatiya Nyay Samhita, and Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Samhita, both of them allow for electronic procedures in criminal justice system. Okay. So for that you need web applications. So there are these technological changes, or there are these technological apps that are being released by government. Now, for training, what government has done, Department of Legal Affairs has organized 4 conferences with delegates from diverse range of lawyers. Comprehensive guidance is provided on iGot, Karmyogi platform and all that stuff. Okay. For police capacity, Bureau of Police Research and Development have developed 13 training modules. These things are there. Now, for notes, you guys can go for you guys can check out our Instagram channel. There we have uploaded all the notes for today's news. Okay. All right. Now let's move on to third news item, which is conservation plan for Great Indian Bustard. Now, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change has approved 56 crore for the next phase of conservation of Great Indian Bustard and Lesser Florican. Now, this is phase 2 of conservation plan for Great Indian Bustard. But phase 1 has been going on since 2016. Okay. Now, what sort of actions the government is taking for this conservation program? Well, the plan includes habitat development for the Great Indian Bustard, in situ conservation. That means within their habitat, conservation of species within their habitat. You don't take these species out from their natural habitat and put them in a zoo for conservation. Within their natural habitat, they are being conserved. That's called in situ conservation. Completion of conservation breeding center, releasing captive bird breeds. So these are the actions taken by government within this conservation plan framework. Now, let's talk a bit about Great Indian Bustard. Okay, so Great Indian Bustard is a state bird of Rajasthan, and as far as its IUCN status is concerned, it is critically endangered. Its habitat, natural habitat, is mostly wetlands of Rajasthan or Rajasthan and Gujarat. Though mostly Great Indian Bustard is found in Rajasthan and Gujarat, but small populations of Great Indian Bustards can be found in Maharashtra, Karnataka, and even in Andhra Pradesh also. Okay, now, their IUCN status is critically endangered. Under Wildlife Protection Act, they are put in Schedule 1. Schedule 1, if any species is put in Schedule 1, then that means that government would take a lot of measures to protect this species. Okay. Now there are two national parks or wildlife sanctuaries dedicated to Great Indian Bustard. Okay. First is Desert National Park in Rajasthan. Okay. This is Desert National Park, Rajasthan. It is in Jaisalmer and Bardmer districts of Rajasthan. It was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1980 and National Park in 1992. It is a natural habitat for Great Indian Bustard. Okay. And the other wildlife sanctuary is Kutch Bustard Sanctuary. Here it is. Kutch Bustard Sanctuary. It is located in Kutch district of Gujarat, also known as Lala Parijan Sanctuary. The sanctuary is home to three species of bustard: Great Indian Bustard, Lesser Floricans, and McQueen Bustard. Okay, so that's all you need to know about Great Indian Bustard and government's plans to conserve this species. Now let's move on to our last news item, which is new Chief of Army Staff. General Upendra Dwivedi took charge as 30th Chief of Army Staff at a time when India faces a lot of security challenges. Two prime security challenges that India faces right now is that Jammu is again becoming a hotbed of terrorism. Now, Jammu, as far as Jammu and Kashmir region is concerned, Kashmir Valley has become peaceful. There are not many reported terrorist incidents in Kashmir. But Jammu region has again become a hotbed for terrorism. So he needs to take care of that. Plus, India and China are facing each other off on LAC, line of actual control, especially alongside the Ladakh sector. So he needs to take care of that too. Okay. The new chief brings with him around 40 years of operational experience, which includes several command and staff appointments across northern, eastern, western theaters. Now, what sort of challenges or focus areas this new chief faces? Okay. First of all, his major challenge would be to restore stability to the Jammu region. We have talked about that. Ensure a stable LAC from Ladakh to Arunachal. Plus, there is this new phenomena occurring all over the world, and that is known as gray zone warfare. Gray zone warfare is something, it's somewhere in between an actual war zone and actual peace area. So gray zone is a sort of situation which is neither completely a warlike situation nor completely a peace-like situation. It's somewhere in between, undefined. There are conflicts happening, but you cannot completely call it a warlike situation. And because there are some conflicts happening, well, you cannot call it a complete peace-like situation. So gray zone warfare is emerging all over the world, and India is no different. So he needs to take care of that. Proper security response for gray zone warfare, plus various other things that he needs to take care of. First of all, he needs to take a fresh look at Agnipath scheme, very controversial Agnipath scheme, and he needs to continue modernizing Indian Army with proper technological upgradation. All right? Yes. So, with that, we conclude today's session. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And I hope it is adding value to your preparation, though it will add more value if you make this lecture series a part of your daily routine. It should be a part of your daily routine. You should continue with this. Okay? All right. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you next time with 2nd July 2024's newspaper. Thank you, everyone.